I'm going to show you how to make a paginated table of contents, and I'm going to use the example QAPP to illustrate this. So first of all, you can see that we have a table of contents in here, but it doesn't have page numbers, and also a list of tables and a list of figures, but without page numbers. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, check to see if Word could guess what I want, because a lot of times, as you're going through and typing and it changes the format and it's so aggravating, it's because it's using these styles. And so it tries to make your typing and your formatting form with what it thinks the style should be, which is annoying, except when you want it to do something automatically, like find the page numbers for these different headers. So if you go in Word to the References tab, click on Table of Contents, and then there's several options, and you might as well try Automatic Table 1 and see what it gets you. So you can see it does insert a paginated table of contents. It has the headers, and then it also even has one subheader here, but we want to add more to it. So approval and distribution. Okay, we definitely want that in the table of contents, but what we want to do is tell EPA when they read it that what we're talking about is element A1. So I am going to go to distribution, which is here, approval and distribution. I'm going to select this text, and then I'm going to tell Microsoft Word this is a level 1. And it says, okay, this is a level 1, so that's why it appears in the table of contents. And I'm going to add to it over here by telling EPA this is element A1. And now, when I go to my table of contents, you can see it didn't update it. It doesn't say approval and distribution A1. So what I'm going to do is select the table of contents, right-click it, say update field. I want to update the entire table. Now it added that A1 to the header. So I want to do a few other things, like I want to add the tables and figures in here and go through and check the page numbers. Okay, this is the summary and project description. We want this figure 1 in here, and we are going to say this figure 1 is level 2 because we want it indented in this section of the QAPP table of contents. So we're going to call this level 2, and now you can see that it changes the formatting of this. That's fine. Now we want figure 1 to also be in the table of contents. So I'm going to say, call this a level 2, and again it changes the formatting. We also want this table 1 to be in the table of contents, and we're going to call this a level 2. Now let's see what we have in the table of contents. You can see it isn't updated until we tell it to, so I'm selecting the whole table, right click, update field, update entire table, and now it added figure 1, map of the reservation, and figure 1, tribal environmental department organizational chart, and we see right away this should be called figure 2. So let's go down and find figure 2, and we're going to change this to figure 2 here, and also I don't want this highlighting to show in there, so I'm going to double click that, and then I'm going to make the highlighting no color. And now I'm going to go back to my table of contents, and I have to update it. Update field, entire table, okay. And it changed figure, what we had is figure 1 to figure 2, and it got rid of the highlighting in one of the headers. So there's other things you could do. For example, this table 1 probably shouldn't be in all caps here, so we can go change that in the text, and it will reflect it then in this table of contents. So that's how you create a paginated table of contents. Be sure to check the page numbers before you send it to EPA. Always check the automatic insertion of table of contents, which again is in the Reference tab. You go over here to Table of Contents and just try Automatic Table 1 and see what you get first before you go through and do a lot of work. But it should be relatively easy. What you want to do is go through the text and find the text that you want to appear in your table of contents. So for example, this summary and project description, in the References tab, in the table of contents chunk, you go to add text and tell Word that's a level 1 header. Obviously before you send this to EPA, delete the table of contents that doesn't have the page numbers, or they will be very confused with 2 tables of contents. And if you want to start the text on a new page, Control Enter.